Today, we're going to talk about Tocharian, an Indo-European language branch spoken in the Turin Basin of Xinjiang, now located in western China until its extinction in the 1st century AD. There are two known Tocharian languages, which we call Tocharian A and Tocharian B. Now, what's interesting about Tocharian languages is that they're among the easternmost of all known Indo-European languages, despite having characteristics common to languages such as English, Gaelic, and Latin, a descendant of Proto-Indo-European, because they were able to reconstruct the language from the large number of Buddhist texts discovered in the Turin Basin. Two things made this process very easy. First, most of the Buddhist texts were known in other languages. And second, the alphabets used by the Tocharians were either the same as the ones used in northern India or the same as the ones used in Persia. In doing so, researchers were able to find Tocharian was not closely related to other Indo-European languages spoken in the Tocharian Basin. It was Kintum language, which had followed the pattern of pronunciation like the language of Western Europe, which at the time was the westernmost extension of Indo-European, while Tocharian was the easternmost extension. Notably, all other Indo-European languages follow this geographical separation of Kintum and Satum, except Tocharian. In fact, Kintum and Satum are both words meaning 100 in the languages of Latin and Avestan, chosen because they represent the major differences in pronunciation between equivalent words of East and West. Hard K's and S sounds for the Western languages, and Tocharian had S and Sh sounds with vowels for Eastern Indo-Iranian languages. The identity and the precise eastward path of Proto-Tocharians is more uncertain. Linguists and archaeologists hypothesize that Tocharians were the descendants of an Afanasia people, whose artifacts had been excavated along the probable eastward route to the Turin Basin. Further substantiating this Afanasia theory is the discovery of graves created in an Afanasio fashion just north of the Turin Basin. The problem with this theory is the non-existence of any other evidence and an uncertainty whether over the Afanasia people were even Indo-European, since they did not leave any indication of language. However, given that the Tocharians needed to borrow alphabets from other cultures, it's possible Tocharian was a purely oral language without written records in its early stages. After the move eastward, the Tocharians settled and built cities. Since these cities were located along the ancient Silk Road, Eastern culture was able to diffuse into their society. From the preponderance of Buddhist Tocharian writings constituting about 90% of all discovered Tocharian documents, it is safely assumed that the majority of Tocharians were Buddhist. It is even a good thing that the cultural diffusion happened, since otherwise the Tocharians might never have gotten around to creating their own writing systems and recording their language. Other religions sent monks and missionaries as well, bringing other alphabets into the mix in addition to the Buddhist Indian script. Zoroastrians, Manichaeans, and Christians from the Middle East would have brought Iranian languages and alphabets to be used in addition to the Sanskrit preferred by Buddhists. From the influences of these languages, Tocharian picked up many loanwords from the Indo-Iranian languages. Secular interactions also exposed Tocharian to a greater variety of languages. Merchants speaking Sogdian soon established it as a lingua franca of commerce, and it shared the Turin Basin with the Saka people. Military confrontations with the Sino-Tibetan Han Chinese and the Tibetans were all but unavoidable in the southern reaches of the Tocharian settlement. In the end, this cultural heterogeneity would lead to the dying out of Tocharian language, as a large migration of Turkic Uighur into the region would lead to the cultural dominance of the Uighur over the land of the Tocharian. Eventually, Tocharian influence was superseded by that of the Uyghurs, who remain the majority in the Turin Basin to this very day.